Tom Sawyer Show is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. They have the best Mexican food in town. Authentic and delicious El Patron. And hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. Joined as always by Coach Tom Sawyer. And Coach, a win over Wayne State this weekend on the road, so gotta like having a road victory. 41-20 was the final score. Was this maybe one of the toughest wins that you had to get just because of things that happened during the game?
Yeah, it was. It was kind of a frustrating day. We saw some really good things happen, kind of a normal things happen, and then some crazy things happen too. So, you know, but going to Wayne America is a tough place to play. They play well there, and they have a good quarterback that can make some things happen. So once we settled into the game, I think we handled it pretty well. And you know, we had 4 interceptions and that kind of stuff, which was totally unusual for Jack. But you know, he was really responsible for 1, and then it kind of went. Everybody had a piece of them, but. We didn't panic. We didn't get all frustrated, and that kind of thing. I think our kids really were calm. Just have to go back to work, and that's something we've been after in big games, is just to recover when bad things happen, and we really handled that part well.
Let's kind of delve into those interceptions to start with. You say you put 1 on Jack, but then the other 3 elsewhere. What happened during those? Was it Wayne kind of keying in on the receivers, or what was it?
Yeah, I think that the first one Jack had, actually, we had a touchdown right down the middle of the field, and he tried to just put it on a line, and the kid undercut him. So he had the kid beat, and he threw it. He was looking at the safety. I mean, if he'd have put any air on it at all, we'd have been underneath it for a 6. But the guy, it was drilled right at him, so the guy came underneath it and got it. And the second one kind of bounced off one of our receivers' hands. And then one where Cam Johnson actually just didn't fight for the ball, and the kid kind of beat him in the corner for it. And then the last one, Jack, it was another touchdown opportunity for us, and Jack got hit just as he was throwing it, and the ball kind of sailed on him and went over again. Same thing that happened against Mankato, but anyway, that just so there's lots of different parts to it, but you know, we didn't get rattled, and we were okay.
Absolutely. I mean, you say it didn't get rattled. Jack ends up throwing for 360-some yards, even with those 4 interceptions, a couple touchdowns thrown in there as well. So kind of talk about maybe Jack's approach to the game and how he's able to kind of keep that focus even when things maybe don't go the best. Well,
you know him a little bit now too after all these years, but he's just a calm kid. You know, he doesn't get real high, doesn't get real low. He's just kind of steady Eddie kind of a player, and you know, he just said, hey, it's my fault and I'll get it back kind of a thing, and just kind of a matter-of-fact thing. And the defense comes on the field, and you know, the defense walks out there and they get the ball on the 1-yard line. Our defense is excited. They want to play there. But, you know, they also didn't cost us the ball game, and that can happen at occasion. But he's just a calm player, Justin, and he's stands in there. He takes a lot of shots, and whatever happens, happens, and he's okay with that, and he's more internally driven and competitive than what people see on TV or on the field.
All right, last question about Jack Nelson, because I'm sure we'll talk about him in the last couple of games of the season. He continues to move up these different charts, different lists. One of them is all-time passing leaders in Minnesota collegiate history. He's now number 2 all-time on that list. He's thrown a touchdown in every collegiate game that he's played in. Based on that and all these different things, I mean, where would you rank him in the quarterbacks that you have seen as a college coach over the years?
Well, he's as good as there is. You know, and we're a 50-50 type team in run pass. So, you know, some coach or some players that are on that list threw the ball, you know, 60% of the time or 70% of the time. So to be able to do that, to be able to start every game, you know, your whole career, to stay healthy. He played with a cast. He's done some other things, but he's always started the games. And so you look at that kind of level, and you look at like Weber from Minnesota and some of these guys that are on that list. That's phenomenal competition. And even at Winona State, the kids that we've had with Steve Spear and Brian Roble and Jake Gadel and some of these quarterbacks that we've had that are on our own list are phenomenal. And then you compare them with what's come through the NSIC. The guys that have had pro opportunities, and Jack's right there with all of those guys, and I expect that he may have some opportunities down the road.
You have a lot of people looking at him?
We've had 22 or 23 NFL teams in here this fall. Some were in last spring looking at some tape, but both he and Cam Johnson have some interest right now, so it's kind of fun to have pro scouts around practice.
All right, let's move on and talk a little bit about the defense against Wayne State. How would you rate the defense this week?
I thought they played well. We got tired. You know, it was a hot day, to be honest with you, so we got kind of gassed up. And when you're on the road, you only got 26 defensive players. So I think the front 7 got pretty gassed up, and the game kind of fell apart a little bit at the end just because we were out, you know, it was tired. The sun zapped us a little bit. We weren't quite ready for it. But besides that, they played very well, kept constant pressure on Zach Osborne, who's another great quarterback in this conference. And I mean, we hit him almost every down, whether he was running it or throwing it. I mean, we made a tremendous amount of pressures on him, and that took its toll on him as well. You saw him just laboring to get up by the end of the day. And, you know, we see that almost every week in this league. But our defense, still the #1 defense in the league. Here we are going into, you know, to week, what is it, 9 or 10 here going in? 10, I guess. And I guess 9. But those guys are still #1. We've never been #1 in the league at this point in the year. And if we finish there, it'd be great. If not, you know, we got some big offenses that we're playing against, including Augustana this week. But really proud of what they've done.
You're getting some of the intangibles done, too. Loudon Wood had a blocked field goal in the game.
Yeah, he did. He just squeezed through. They had a huge, you know, line in front of that field goal team, and he broke through and blocked it with one hand, and really had a great just effort is what it is, and that's what Loudon Wood brings to us as a captain. Just a guy that's always energy-filled, always encouraging others, and then goes out and does it himself as well.
Talk a little bit about the penalties. You look at the penalty numbers. Wayne State only called for 2 penalties during the game. You had 7 for 58 yards. I know that was one thing that you were looking at after the last home game, try to cut down on some of those penalties. Yeah,
and, you know, we had 3 that, you know, out of those 7, 3 I think were just foolish. You know, for a wide receiver to jump off sides in the first drive, Cam Johnson, you know, wiggled on a ball. We weren't lined up yet. And then we had a late hit on a quarterback by a freshman defensive lineman. Got a little too excited. He got in the game and saw the jersey and went and hit it. But he was definitely late, and those can cost you in big games. But the other ones, you know, if we're aggressive on the sideline and covering people up, and, you know, we got called for holding on one, and then they didn't call it the other way. It was one of those kind of deals. But overall, I thought we were much improved, much cleaner game. You take those 2 away. You know, the offsides, actually we had 3 offsides, 2 on the defense, 1 on offense, and then the late hit. But those are 3 of those, you know, we can control, and that's something we'll have to work on this week.
We'll talk a little bit about special teams then. Carter McCauley had a pretty good day, kicking a couple of field goals. Is he now 100%, close to 100%?
He's close to 100%. You know, his field goal, the one he kicked from 40 yards, was like the layup, and he kicked it at the top of the goalpost and hammered it into the wind. So kicked the ball out of bounds with a 3-step approach, you know, when we had the wind. It was pretty windy there that day. So, but he handled it just fine. He was perfect for the day, and had a tremendous week.
Let's talk a little bit then about the offense overall. I know you say you like to be 50-50. The running game against Wayne State, I think, only had 150, 160 yards. Was that kind of by design, or was Wayne tough against the run?
Well, I think they were pretty decent against the run, but more importantly is we had the ball in half a field the whole day. We started every drive on the plus side of the 50. So we just didn't have a lot of field to play with. Right. So you cut the field in half for the whole day. You're not going to have as many rushing yards. And then, you know, they did bring, you know, a bunch of people down and played man cover and brought those safeties down in quick to stop Paul and Eric Berth and the guys. And so we threw it. And, you know, if we're going to do that, if they're going to bring that defense down like that, we'll throw the ball over the place. And you saw Jack threw for almost 400 yards. So you look at those kind of days, the defense really dictates to how we're going to go.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show, and when we come back, we'll get the player perspective. Connor Schultz will start with offense, wide receiver, coming up right after this.
The future of broadband is here with HBC GigaWorld. Discover next-generation internet, allowing you to stream multiple HD movies simultaneously, download your favorite music, backup files to the cloud, and more, all in less than 60 seconds. Watch TV on your schedule with whole home DVR, video on demand, and HBC TV to go. Reach out to friends and family near and far with crystal clear local and unlimited long-distance calling. HBC GigaWorld, with more bandwidth and reliability than any other provider. Imagine the possibilities. Visit hbci.com today.
It's a new day, and there are things you need to know. Football things.
Know where he's at, because he will knock your block off.
Fantasy football things.
He's top 10 upside, there I said it.
Non-football things.
I plugged Harry Potter, I've talked about Game of Thrones.
Bring it back to sports.
And things on your mind.
Tweet them to us at GMFB.
Good Morning Football, Monday through Friday at 7, only on NFL Network.
Turn your friends into GigaFriends with HBC and earn up to $50 on each qualifying referral.
Up to $50?
That's right.
More input, please.
When HBC customers refer their friends to sign up for HBC services, they can earn up to $50. If they get 2 friends to sign up for services...
that would be $100?
That's right. Pretty quick with the math there.
Affirmative. We are robots. Math is kind of our thing.
Never would have guessed.
Grab some GigaFriends and start saving today.
The most exciting,
game-defining yards in football. It's NFL Red Zone from NFL Network.
Magnificent!
Get every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. And football doesn't stop.
We're covering it like crazy.
On NFL Network, it goes all week.
We got a lot of football. Don't you go away.
Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network today.
The Tom Sawyer Show is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. Their happy hour is Sundays through Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Check out their Facebook page for details. Authentic and delicious El Patron. Time now to talk a little offense. And Coach, you have a true freshman coming in a little bit, but you got a redshirt freshman coming in right now.
Yeah, Connor Serde. Connor, thanks for coming over.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Well, first thing I want to ask you and get this thing started is you scored another touchdown.
Yep.
And your first year playing for the Warriors in that high-powered offense, what's it like getting in the end zone for the first couple times this year?
It's awesome. You know, it's kind of tough when you're redshirt and all you do is practice and not play. And, you know, I haven't been in the end zone for 2 years, senior year of high school, and then you come in and you get in there, it's a good feeling. Feels good.
You know, Saturday when you scored that one, you even dragged a guy in from about 7 or 8 yards out. We saw in the highlights. But, you know, playing with Jack Nelson's such a big deal. We talk about it every week. What's it like for a receiver, especially a young receiver, when you know he's standing back there?
It makes it a little easier. You know, he's going to put the ball where you need it, and it makes your job a little easier. Get yelled at a little less for not going up and pulling the ball away. But
would you say the coaches would yell at you?
Oh, yeah.
They would? Oh, good thing I'm not over there. Next question I have for you is, you know, we're in position now at 6-2, and I know as a freshman, you know, we're under 500. Now our team is over 500 guaranteed. What's that feel like from your perspective as a young player?
Real good, because it means the team's on a uprising. You know, we're rebuilding, we're getting better every day, and showing up on Saturdays, come ready to play and winning games. So it's good. It's a good feeling.
I want to ask you about, now this is your second year with the Warriors. You talked about the redshirt year. We might get into that a little bit later. But you've seen Josh Mikas. Now you've seen Cam Johnson. You've seen the rest of the guys that have been on your team. What are you able to take from those guys? And how do you think you'll be able to use that in the rest of your Warrior career?
They teach you a lot. They teach you a lot of stuff that you don't know. You come in, you think you know everything because you were the man in high school, and you get here and you realize you're not the man anymore. And they humble you a little bit. They show you what you can do better, what you need to work on, and they also tell you what you do good, so you know, get a little bit of positive feedback. But Cam's a big help. Without Cam, I don't think I'd be as good of a receiver or take as many steps as I have so far in this process. He's helped me a lot with the plays, route running, all kinds of stuff, blocking. So it's just kind of little things that you'll take with you up until you graduate.
I want to ask you a little bit about what you said about, you know, you come in out of high school as the man, and then you come in and you're redshirt, so you have to sit on the sidelines. I mean, how is that transition? And I know that a lot of it is speed of the game to try to figure out how things are in college as opposed to high school. But how do you go from being the man, being a redshirt, and then having to go back out in the field again and after that 1 year gap?
It's mental reps, patience. You go to practice, you take in, soak in as much as you can, so when it's your turn, you're ready to go. And then when you step up, everything's not moving at 100 miles an hour. Everything kind of slows down, and you do your job. You don't make as many mental mistakes, and it's all about just kind of paying attention, I guess, when you're a redshirt, and just take as much in as you can. So,
you know, the other part of it is the blocking part, and that's, to me, I think it's the hardest for wide receivers. One, they don't cut anybody in high school. Two, all of a sudden they got these DBs, safeties screaming all over them all the time. And how is that for you, that adjustment on the blocking part of the game, when you got guys like Paul Preston out there behind you, have no idea where he's going to run because he doesn't know where he's going to go, and yet you're responsible to get him in the end zone.
Right. Well, they come screaming at you a lot faster in college than they do in high school, so you got to kind of prepare yourself a little bit to take a shot or deliver the blow. But when you got a running back like Paul, you never really know where he's going to go. So your best bet, I guess, is just to lock on and take your man wherever he's going to go and let Paul decide afterwards, because with him, he's all over the place.
I guess it's got to be difficult in the first place to block and to not commit a penalty or anything like that. But when you throw in an intangible like Paul Preston, like you said, not knowing where he's going to go, how hard is it mentally to try to remember to not commit a penalty, not to hold, not to make a chop block or anything like that?
Just trust yourself. Trust yourself that you're going to go out and you're going to make the play. You're going to make the big block that springs the ball another 50 yards instead of getting tackled after 10. Just self-confidence, I would say.
You know, the last question I have is really about going in the end zone. And, you know, it's always a receiver's dream is to catch it and take it to the house. And you've done that now a couple times. Was the second one easier and more fun than the first one, or what was the deal there?
I would say the second one was more fun because I would say this game meant a little bit more than the last one. Coming off a loss to Sioux Falls, it's always big to come back out, especially on the road, and get a win when you're in our situation where every game now is a playoff game. And you lose, you're done, you win, you're in type of thing. So it feels good to get in the end zone when you're in a bigger game.
Let's talk a little bit about your previous career in high school. Germantown High School is where you're from, in Wisconsin. What memories do you have from your high school days?
Getting in the end zone a lot more than I have so far. So I'm hoping to get those numbers up and have them keep climbing as my career here goes on.
All right, you're a multi-sport athlete in high school.
Yes,
so when did you decide that football was going to be the path that you were going to choose?
My freshman year, actually. I played summer league basketball going into my freshman year, thinking I was going to play. And I ended up getting called up for playoffs as a freshman on varsity. And that's when I kind of knew that, all right, let's take this and go with it. And that's when I decided I'm going to drop basketball. I eventually dropped baseball too, go to football camps in the summer and better myself, and it ended up working out for me.
All right, and last question that I have, how did you choose Winona State?
Felt like home. I got to thank Coach Barton. He was probably the biggest reason that I am here today, because I was super last minute in the recruiting process, signed after signing day. He helped out a lot, got me in, and I appreciate it highly because it's been working out.
Very good. All right, thank you for joining us here, and good luck the rest of the season and the rest of your Warrior career.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll go defense. Cam Gavin joins us right after this.
Anything can happen on Thursday. America was born on a Thursday. So was Odell Beckham Jr. and that Pac-Man guy. The Model T was launched, the first text was sent, and Broadway Joe guaranteed an upset. All on a Thursday. Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. Oh, and this happened on a Thursday. Anything can happen on Thursday. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8 on NFL Network.
HBC GigaWorld is fiber optic, which means there's more capacity for more devices. With HBC GigaWorld, your broadband experience gives you unsurpassed capacity, allowing multiple users in your home to surf, shop, game, and stream all at the same time, with no buffering or lag. HBC GigaWorld, with more bandwidth and reliability than any other provider, giving you the best speed and capacity for your GigaHome experience. Visit hbci.com to learn more.
They said Down syndrome. Don't expect a lot. I just said no. John is going to be my child.
My goals is a relationship, and maybe I'll move out on my own.
You can make your life anything you want.
I'm here, I'm alive, I'm human. We have to stick together.
The Tom Sawyer Show is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. They are the place to go for an express lunch, 7 days a week from 11 till 3. Authentic and delicious El Patron. And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. As we said, kind of a glimpse to the future now. We have a true freshman joining us now.
Yeah, Cam Gavin's here. Cam, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
First question I have for you is, you know, I always brag about our football family, our alumni family, that kind of stuff. What is your tie to Warrior alumni?
My high school coach, Luke Lokank, the safety, he played here, and I don't know, he really loved it here, and he pushed me towards going to this school.
He didn't physically make you come here, did he? Because that's how he played.
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
You know, my question is going back to last week, and you know, here we are in a game that's meaningful, like Connor said, and you're a true freshman. You know, a month ago, we didn't know if you were going to play or not, and then all of a sudden, you know, Ryan Kane gets hurt, and we decided earlier that you were going to play, but all of a sudden you're the starter. How did that change your preparation for games like last week?
It made me prepare mentally a lot because I know the older guys need me in the back to make a call, so I have to be on with my communication, especially with Spencer because he is a top dog on our defense. So me and him have to be on the same page. And then they trust me to make plays back there too.
You know, I think that we talk about it every week, but that communication piece on our defense, when a guy goes in motion or they don't go in motion or they shift or move, it changes a lot of things in our defense. How difficult was that in your transition from high school to now here you are 1 year later playing in a college football game?
It was difficult because the game's a lot faster and you don't have enough time to make a quick call or a quick transition. But then, I mean, it's easy when you have Spencer back there, like I said, and then Mike and Pirelli in the linebacker position. So it's not bad.
You know, covering guys at this level, and you know, every team has a great quarterback in this league. Everybody has that star premier wide receiver or two, and you get matched up on some of these guys sometimes. What do you go through mentally to prepare yourself for that?
I know, like my coach, Lil Kank said, he said, just watch their hips and you'll be fine because you can cover anyone. So that I just keep that in the back of my mind.
Awesome.
When did you start to feel comfortable in college and kind of get up to the speed?
I felt comfortable after I made that play against Mankato after the interception. I knew that, I mean, if I could do it against a top team in the nation, I should be fine against anyone else.
All right. I always like to do a little bit of research on the people that come in here, and I saw that on your Twitter feed you had a picture of when you first announced that you were going to be committing to Winona State, and you got the jersey on, and you're in front of the lockers and everything. You got this big smile on your face. Talk about that and about you know, being able to post a picture like that and kind of show that you were a Warrior already.
It was great to post that picture because, like I said, Coach Lokank really pushed me towards it, and I know he wanted me to fill his shoes at this school. So it was great, especially for my mom and dad, to be proud of me to commit and play college sports.
Yeah, I saw that you had a picture of your mom and dad, and you said, "This is who I play for."
Yeah.
Talk about that. Do they get to come to the games?
No, they don't really get to come to the games because my mom, she works, she's going to school, and then my dad also works like every day. So for them to come up to one game at least just made me happy.
You know, you look at that family piece of it again. I love talking about it because, you know me, I'm always talking about our alumni. But, you know, when you got a guy like Luke Lokank, who was one of the best safeties we ever had here and played on one of our better teams, maybe the best team, you look at that now as a freshman. Do you ever remind him that he didn't play as a freshman and now that you are?
No, but when I go back home,
You're going to? No, the real question I have is just, you know, being a freshman. Now as a player, and Connor was talking about redshirt, have you had to separate from the rest of the freshmen? Are you still guys all buddies? Or how's that happen because you're running a different schedule than those guys?
No, we're all buddies, but they always play jokes on me like, oh, you're too cool for us now. But I mean, they all cheer me on, which is great. Like none of them go down on me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're all behind me.
Well, it's a pretty special group we had in that recruiting class. We have quite a few freshmen that are playing, actually, which usually doesn't happen for us. But, you know, that transition, again, the last question I'll have about that, but, you know, going as a true freshman and going in week by week and looking at all the different offenses you have to, what's been the hardest transition piece?
The hardest transition piece is probably seeing multiple, like 3x1s, tray slots and all that stuff, when you don't know whether to make a call or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
The recognition of the offensive sets.
Yeah, and then with running backs motioning out and stuff like that.
It'd be nice if you just tell them to stand still.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't listen.
All right, last question that I have is about your high school career. Your senior year, state runner-up in both basketball and football. Talk about that season.
It was great to just do that for my last year. I mean, having the whole school, the whole city behind us, because we have a small town. For them to just be behind us at all the games was phenomenal.
Right, same question that I asked Connor then. When did you decide that football was the path that you would choose?
I guess at the end of the basketball state tournament, I think I took a visit during the playoffs, and then at the end of the state tournament, I had no offers for basketball, so I just decided football was the way to go.
All right, and then really last question, I'm doing that now. Talk about your choice to become Winona State Warrior. We talked about the photo that came out, so you're proud to be a Warrior. When did you decide that Winona State would be the place for you?
I kind of just had it in the back of my mind since I was basically a junior in high school, knowing that Lokank went to this school. So it was kind of easy for me to decide.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us here this
Thank
week,
you.
and good luck the rest of the year. We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show, and when we come back, we'll talk about another road game, this one against Augustana this week. That's coming up on TV 25.
HBC GigaWorld is fiber optic, which means you can experience true gigabit Wi-Fi. With HBC GigaWorld, you can maximize your Wi-Fi experience and the devices you use with HBC's GIGAHOME gateway. Take your Wi-Fi to the next level with faster internet speeds that have increased signal strength, backed by the reliability and bandwidth to support simultaneous internet users all at the same time. HBC GigaWorld, with more bandwidth and reliability than any other provider. Visit hbci.com to learn more.
Turn your friends into GigaFriends with HBC and earn up to $50 on each qualifying referral.
Up to $50.
That's right.
More input, please.
When HBC customers refer their friends to sign up for HBC services, they can earn up to $50. If they get 2 friends to sign up for services...
That would be $100.
That's right. Pretty quick with the math there.
Affirmative. We are robots. Math is kind of our thing.
Never would have guessed.
Grab some Giga friends and start saving today.
Get your fixer-upper fix on HGTV.
Pow!
Every Tuesday.
Reporting for duty.
Chip and Joanna make dreams come true.
It's gonna look awesome.
OMG!
With more challenges. More surprises.
Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
More Chip.
I think it's always fun to shake it up a little bit.
Amen.
Fixer-upper. Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Anything can happen on Thursday. America was born on a Thursday. So was Odell Beckham Jr. and that Pac-Man guy. The Model T was launched, the first text was sent, and Broadway Joe guaranteed an upset. All on a Thursday. Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. Oh, and this happened. On a Thursday. Anything can happen on Thursday. Thursday Night Football. Thursday at 8 on NFL Network.
The Tom Sawyer Show is brought to you by El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina. They have the best Mexican food in town. Authentic and delicious El Patron. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. Time now to talk about this weekend's game, and it's Augustana on the road. You look at their record. Obviously, it's not the same looking at record, looking at team, but they're not quite where they were at the beginning of the year, but still a very dangerous team.
Yeah, very dangerous team, especially offensively. You know, Trey Hyde's great. Made a play with 1 second with a guy draped on his back last year. We remember it well. That was a frustrating day. They went on and went into the playoffs and so on. So they're a very good team. And a lot of old kids on that team have been around. Both receivers are fantastic. And also Trey Hyde can throw for a lot. They're the #1 passing team in the league. So we got our work cut out for us with that. But nonetheless, 2 good teams battling away. They're a game behind us in the South Division, and we like where we're sitting at right now. We got a winning record. We're rolling, and we're excited to get out there and play.
You mentioned Trey Hyde last week against Upper Iowa, 6 touchdown passes. Is it as easy as trying to stop Trey Hyde? Is that where you can stop Augustana?
That's not the only part. The 2 receivers they got is very well, but you get to Trey Hyde before he throws it, that would help. You know, it's basically like the kid from Duluth, the Morales kid from Upper Iowa, and last week probably gave us our best work at it is the Osborne kid from Wayne. They'll throw it if they can throw it on time. If they don't, they're almost more dangerous to run. He's also their leading rusher, but he's not like a Mankato quarterback rushing game. He is a scramble guy. He's got good speed, so we got to get to him. We got to tackle well and be patient. They're going to hit some big ones. We just got to be patient with it and know if we can slow them down, we're in better shape.
Health-wise, how are you doing heading to Augustana?
Actually better than we were last week. I think we'll get some kids back, at least that they played, but we'll get them back and healthy, especially in that offensive line. Again, those guys will be good to go this week. Paul with another week rest, really needed it. Cam Johnson, the same thing. He played at about 60% last week probably, so he feels a lot better today. So I really think that we'll be, at this time of the year, in as good a shape as we've been, especially over the last 4 years.
All right, just a couple seconds left. One more plug for your Thursday luncheons.
Yeah, Thursday luncheons have been great. We've been getting between 50 and 70 people each week. It's noon on every Thursday. And this week we're actually at the Green Mill restaurant instead of the Riverport, just for this 1 week. But great opportunity to meet some kids. In fact, Cam Johnson will be there. We talk a little bit about passing at the luncheon as well.
Is the hot seat going to be back?
The hot seat is back. You know, I don't bring it back to the guys that have had the hot seat a couple times because they actually pick on me more than I pick on them. But to get these young guys like we have here today, they'd be on the hot seat for sure.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week, and good luck against Augustana.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you for joining us here on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll see you next week here on HBC TV 25.